Peter Pollock again. I want to talk to you about military secret to managing teams. If you as a boss have to hover over your team to make sure that they're getting results, you're in daycare. You didn't hire a team, you're in daycare. Some of the best leaders I served in the Air Force were fire and forget people. They give you an order, they give you an intent, and you go and accomplish it. That's what I'm going to talk to you about today. As opposed to orders and shouting everything, they gave commander's intent, what we called commander's intent. And that's the secret I'm going to talk to you about today. Commander's intent. How to do that, and you give the intent and people will absolutely amaze you with what they can do. So I'm teaching leadership at Air University. The hardest thing to do as a leader is to provide intent and let go and watch them do it. Some people want to hover over you and get stuff done. No, give them the intent. It's called authority to go and conquer this thing. So give them that intent, let them go forward, let go, stop micromanaging. But you know what I learned is good? You need to do periodical checks and make sure they're still on track to get it done, right? So some people are obviously what we call fire and forget, and they'll amaze you. Others you kind of need to follow up and you know, it all comes down to personality of the person. And people are different. Let me tell you, people are different. So you got to understand the difference. But generally, if you ask people to do something rather than tell them to do something, they will amaze you with what they can do. Let's take a really simple example. Instead of walking into a room and say, move that box to the left. That's an order. An intent would say, this room is a mess. Let's clean it up, make a space down the middle. They can figure it out how to do that. They don't need you to tell them, move that box 6 inches to the left. It doesn't work that way. You might be thinking to yourself, your team's not military. They're a bunch of 22-year-old interns, which in itself is an interesting team of people to lead, especially for an old dude like me. But that excuse is a failure of you to recognize that they're human beings and they're capable of a lot, right? May 19th, 2010 was a huge attack on Bagram. I saw 19-year-old kids make decisions to save thousands, literally, I'm not making this up, literally making decisions without direction because they knew their job, they knew what they had to do, make decisions, and literally save thousands of people. They just need clear intent. They don't need you shouting at them, do this, do that. It doesn't work like that, all right? Remember, instead of saying, move that box to the left, say, I need a clear space in this so the admiral, the general, whatever can walk through, all right? So clear it out, right? Don't tell them what to do. Give them the intent of what the final thing needs to look like, and they'll amaze you with what they can do. So once you give them the intent, don't ask them like an idiot. Do you understand what I just said? Try and say something like, we good? I mean, that actually shows intent that you're asking them, did you understand, without saying, did you understand, right? But ask them. Say, hey, I want this room cleaned. Come tell me when you got it done, all right? Wait for them to come and get you so you can go and see what they've done, all right? Don't say, do you understand? People are smart, right? They can figure out things from themselves, especially if it's a team, right? So don't say, do you understand? It could come off condescending, so don't do that. Your team should be briefing you on outcomes, on what happened, or what the end result is, not this is the task and this is how we did it. They can come back to you and say, hey, the room is clear, ready for the general. And you just go down and check and you're good, right? Stop hovering. Let them start owning the process based on your intent. So there's a concept, eyes on, hands off. Let me say that again, eyes on, hands off. This is the difference between accountability and micromanagement. Lord knows nobody wants a micromanager, but they have to be accountable also for their actions that they do based on your intent. Some of them may turn out well, some of them may not turn out well. You're not babysitting them, you're building a culture, and you still track metrics to find out if it's getting done. You still demand a performance, right? But if you ask and give them intent as opposed to telling them, they'll go the extra mile. to make sure that happens. People are smart, they can make up their own mind. They react more to influence and asking them, giving them intent rather than demanding that this be done. Well, do it your bloody self. If you're going to demand me to do something, do it yourself, right? Just ask them, give them intent, influence them, and they will amaze you with what they can do. People will actually rise to the level of clarity you've given them. They will react totally differently if you put pressure on them. Okay, so not micromanaging, you're still demanding performance, but you're holding them accountable too, right? You need to tell people why we're doing something, right? You can tell them the what, but you need to tell them that why we're doing it, right? There's probably a good reason. If you noticed a couple of minutes ago, I said clear the room so the admiral can walk through, so they understand what the intent and what the final outcome needs to kind of look like in their mind, right? The admiral's walking through, the general's walking through. So they have to clear kind of the middle of the room so that people can walk through. If you just say clear the room, they don't understand why you're asking them to clear the room, right? So give them the why of where, hey, we need to clear the room, the admiral needs to be able to walk through, and this is a mess. All right, so clean it up, right? If they understand the why, they'll perform head over heels for you. So I teach a lot of this about why, and actually Simon Sinek, I read his book, it starts with why. It really does start with why. People will do amazing things if they understand why, and this culture, Gen Z culture, asks why. Even the younger culture asks why. All right, sometimes you need to have a one-way conversation, but that's very few and far between. In 24 years, I probably had just a handful, like 5, of one-way conversations with people because they were just dumb and they didn't get it, right? Most of the time I asked, gave them the intent, and they did it. All right, I can talk for days on end about this. I can teach you how to do it. We can work together. Click on the link below to set up a call with me, and I'll be glad to walk through what the problem is, and together we can solve it. All right, I'm Peter Pollock, Strength and Honor.